In this video episode, I just want to briefly share with you what I think is Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, the great British playwright who died just over 400 years ago. I think he had an Islamic understanding of God, and this comes out in his plays, particularly in this play called The Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. And there's a part here where one of the characters talks about mercy. The quality of mercy is an attribute of God. Now, of course, in Islam, mercy is an attribute of God. We have Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, which begins every surah, every chapter of the Quran, apart from one that's usually translated the most compassionate, the most merciful. So it has ideas of cherishing and mercy and compassion. And we find this in this, I'm going to read it to you, it's about a dozen lines. I won't go into the story of The Merchant of Venice. You can Google that just if you want to see a synopsis of the story. It's an amazing play. I just want to read it to you. And then I'm going to quote a hadith afterwards, which I think says exactly the same thing. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the enthroned monarch better than his crown. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. An earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoken thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, this strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there. And the hadith, Abu Hurairah reported that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, when Allah decreed the creation, he wrote in his book with him on his throne, my mercy prevails over my wrath. My mercy prevails over my wrath. That's Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. And just to push this point home, salvation is based on the mercy of God, not on works, not on a sacrifice of a human being who has to be tortured to death on a cross before somehow God is enabled to forgive us. Mercy and forgiveness and so on are of the essence of Jesus' teaching, as they are of the Hadith, and in our greatest English playwright, in William Shakespeare too, who clearly understood this attribute of God, as he calls it, to be mercy, not punishment or justice. As he says, with justice none of us would see salvation. In the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We can't stand righteous, we need mercy. So we do pray for mercy. And I just wanted to share that with you if you enjoy Shakespeare as I do. Till next time.